Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's swearing-in ceremony. My name is James Stuart, and it has been my honor to serve as the 17th Sheriff of Anoka County for the past 12 years. And today, as my final act as Sheriff, it is my privilege to pass the baton to the 18th Sheriff of Anoka County, Sheriff Brad Wise. Serving as an elected sheriff is an honor that very few understand. A small percentage of society makes the choice to serve others through a noble career in law enforcement. And another small group is fortunate to represent their communities as an elected official. And then there are sheriffs, who are the only hybrid to cover both of these groups. Across our nation, sheriffs serve many roles and always strive to be the voice and the representation and the protector of their counties. As a sheriff in Anoka County, we have the opportunity to serve and protect the entire county in many diverse ways through the 6 divisions and numerous specialty services across our office. As the Chief Law Enforcement Officer, you also hold ultimate responsibility for the safety of our families and our 21 communities. You are elected by the people, you report to the people, and it is your duty to serve the people. There truly is no greater honor and no stronger accountability. And I thank the citizens of Anoka County for trusting me with that honor for the past 12 years, and I thank Sheriff Wise for his partnership and his future leadership of this great office. The Anoka County Sheriff's Office was founded in 1857, and as staff have heard me say, that's the year before the state of Minnesota became a state. And since that time, we have held a strong reputation for the pursuit of excellence and exceeding expectations. Each of our 6 divisions across the complex and multifaceted office strives to consistently shine brightly, and numerous units within our office have received awards and accolades as they set the standard for others to emulate. Our team members wear many different hats and serve our communities in numerous different ways. But one thing that remains consistent is their heart for service. As you entered, you likely noticed the monument outside. That monument is a tribute, and it stands in honor to those very hearts of service that I spoke of. It's designed to appreciate those who have come before us and to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our citizens. The monument was very strategically developed with intentionality that is often not known or thought about. As one figure looks to the past in remembrance of where we have been, the sacrifices made, and what we have accomplished together, the other figure looks to the horizon as they anticipate what is to come and what the collective future of our office holds. Today's ceremony makes a very specific statement about what our future holds as we swear in the next sheriff of this great county. I'm humbled to be a part of today's ceremony as I now formally pass the baton. And I would now invite the Honorable Judge Sean Gibbs to come forward and swear in Sheriff Wise as the 18th Sheriff of Anoka County. Judge Gibbs.
Well, good morning. Boy, I'm nervous, I gotta tell you. I walk into a room like this and it's impressive with the law enforcement here. I am Sean Gibbs. I'm a judge here in Anoka County, and I've had the privilege of knowing Sheriff-elect Brad Wise for almost 30 years. It's my honor to swear him in today. I've also had the privilege of knowing Sheriff Jim Stuart and his wonderful family for many years. As a citizen of Anoka County, I thank him for his service, for a job well done, and I wish him luck in his next adventure. You know, my relationship with the Sheriff's Office started in 1972. I was 6 years old. My dad was good friends with then Sheriff Buster Talbot. So my brother and I, who was retired state patrol, my dad talked about the election, and so he and I, my brother and I, went out and gathered all Sheriff Talbot's opponent's signs, put them in our red wagon. True story, brought him home to Dad. Pretty happy. I think the statute of limitations is passed, but it reminded me, because I would see Brad working tirelessly, building signs, bigger signs than what there were in 1972, but he worked his tail off. Anoka County certainly has had a long and proud history of outstanding sheriffs and law enforcement, many of whom I see here today. You go back to Sheriff Talbot and all the way to Sheriff Stuart now, and I know that Brad Wise will continue that tradition. Brad, I want to thank you for asking me to do this. I know you're going to be an outstanding law enforcement officer, and you're just a great guy. confident you're going to serve the people of Anoka County very well as their new sheriff. Are you ready to be sworn in?
I am.
If you'd raise your right hand and please repeat after me. I, Brad Wise,
I, Brad Wise,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will faithfully execute
and that I will faithfully execute
and discharge
the
duties of the office of Anoka County Sheriff
duties of the office of Anoka County Sheriff
in the County of Anoka, Minnesota,
in the County of Anoka, Minnesota,
according to the law
according to the law
and to the best of my ability
and the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
Congratulations.
Thank you. If you want to just introduce her quick, my daughter Haley.
Absolutely. And to pin on the new sheriff's badge, his
Let's hold up,
daughter-
kid.
his daughter Haley.
Okay.
All right, give me a hug, kid. All right.
That might be a land speed record.
All right, more doodads. I'd appreciate that. It's working. All right, we're good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Jim.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to formally introduce and to pass the baton to the 18th Sheriff of Anoka County, Sheriff Brad Wise.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. All right, where's the script, like the whole agenda? Oh yeah, there we go. Well, as my first official responsibility, though, I need to swear in my new chief deputy sheriff. In this case, it'll be Paul Ireland. Paul, if you want to step up. As Judge Gibbs mentioned, relationships are important. Paul Ireland is an important person to me. He and I have worked together for a long, long time. Frankly, when I started at Coon Rapids PD back in 1995, by the way, I was hired by Chief Steve Ahrens, who has honored me with his presence here today. But when I started at Coon Rapids in 1995, Paul Ireland was one of my field training officers, and we've been best friends ever since. So I appreciate Paul's partnership, and I'm looking forward to working with him. So with that, Paul, are you ready?
I am.
You are. All right. So if you'll raise your right hand. Actually, I'm going to do the caveat. For the record, Paul wanted me to let you know that he's has a little bit of laryngitis, so his voice may not be as clear as you might have otherwise expected. So.
Usually much manlier.
All right. So if you'll repeat after me. I, Paul Ireland, do solemnly swear
I, Paul Ireland, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will faithfully execute
and that I will faithfully execute
and discharge the duties of the office of Chief Deputy
and execute and discharge the duties of the office of Chief Deputy
in the County of Anoka,
in the County of Anoka,
in the State of Minnesota,
the State of Minnesota,
according to the law and the best of my ability and understanding.
according to the law and the best of my ability and understanding.
Congratulations, Paul. All right, brother. So, your badge, your wife, and pinning Paul with his badge will be his wife, Beth Ireland. fix all of this.
Stick 'em up.
That's right. We'll get all this done.
Just mean we're engaged.
You're on a hot mic. I have a feeling that one of these things is going to go flying.
Just let it.
What's that?
Just let it.
Mm-hmm. All right, brother. All right. Chief Deputy Paul Ireland. Thanks, everyone. If you want to sit down. Actually, if you don't mind to indulge me for a bit, I'm going to make a few remarks. This is streamed on Facebook Live, so it's nice that we're able to share this moment with everybody. Of course, I too, I would like Judge Gibbs, I would say I'm a little nervous just because this is pretty overwhelming. The prospect of leading this office and the process that led me to being here today in many ways is overwhelming. But of course, I would be remiss if I didn't start with thank yous. The reality is there are so many people to thank. I'm a little fearful of doing it in the first place just because I'm bound to omit important people. Obviously through the campaign process, already went through those thank yous because for sure running for office is a difficult thing, and it's a process that I'm not, it was overwhelming from the very beginning. So just that, and thank you for the people who helped me along the way through that. But I really want to say thank you to Sheriff James Stuart, who's been exceptionally kind, supportive, and very generous with his time since the election. He and I go back a number of years too, as you might imagine. But he's been most gracious and helpful, and it makes an enormous difference when I come into an office as a brand new person to have that kind of support. I also want to thank the Honorable Judge Gibbs, who I've known for such a long time. Back in the day when we were much younger, we used to golf together. I mean, we had that kind of nice social bond, and it's always nice to be able to be sworn in by somebody who I have such personal respect for, as I certainly appreciate his presence here. I want to thank my new teammates here at ACSO, obviously a number of them in white shirts and others throughout the office. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you. It's going to be a long process because there are a bunch of you, but I'm not bad at names. I'm going to work on it. I want to thank my mom, Julie Wise. She came. I want to thank my mother-in-law, Joyce DeGrand, for coming. Of course, I want to thank my wife, Kristen, who has been hanging in there throughout all of this with me. It's been enormously stressful, and she's been my unyielding support throughout. Couldn't have done it without her. And I want to thank my daughter, Haley, for pinning my badge. It's really meaningful for me to have her here. Absent, though, was my son, Connor. He's a college junior, so he decided to go with his buddies to Arizona, and I think is partying up, though, out there. Hopefully he's doing good things on behalf of the Wise name. I'll find out eventually. And then, of course, I want to thank the citizens of Anoka County who have entrusted me with this honor of serving as sheriff, and it's a responsibility I take deeply. I'm excited about the prospect, and I aim to do my best to deliver. I just want to say a couple of comments about vision moving forward. So much of the campaign, I've talked to many different people, which was always very me-oriented, and I'm moving away from that now because it's us-oriented. And so for the vision, and my vision hasn't changed from the time I was in Coon Rapids, but the goal is to do great work and to have fun while we're doing it, because that's what I believe is what brings the best to any particular organization. We are part of a public safety team, and that interconnection is vital, whether it's police, fire, ambulance, medical services. We're all mutually supportive. We all have to be responsive and responsible to each other to bring the best service we possibly can to the citizens, because of course our goal is to make a difference. Within this office, though, a lot of the sheriff's office employees are going to need to get to know me. I know quite a few of them long-term, but many of them are new to me. And of course, I want to share with them how I view the office itself. I want you to know I value the formal leaders, which are you in the white shirts and people with stripes, and the supervisors in the administrative support section. But what the traits I value the leaders that prioritize supporting their troops, making your troops a priority, making sure you're lifting them up, that you help them enjoy their jobs, and that you train them to be your replacement, because we're all future generations. Everybody is taking a step up along the way. I have mentors like Chief Wells and Chief Aarons that worked with me and helped me be who I am when I was at Coon Rapids PD. You have that same obligation to bring up the people that are coming in behind you, because somewhere is a rookie who might very well be the sheriff one day. I value the informal leaders within the office, and you know who you are. Those are the people who show up to work every day, and when they see something that isn't quite the best, is that they insert themselves and they influence their coworkers to be the better employees. I can think of mentors myself that helped me along the way when I was a rookie and I was nervous and I wasn't certain about what I was doing. I'll call one out by name, Mark McDonough, who was an officer that I thought very highly of when I was brand new. And he was one of those guys that went out of his way to make sure a new guy was comfortable in a squad car and comfortable making decisions. And I respect and value those kinds of informal leaders. And then I also say I value the new staff who show up that are committed to giving their very best and are committed to learning along the way. So as for me, my job will be to influence where I can others to make sure that Anoka County is as safe as possible in a fiscally responsible way, and I will do that. My job will be to continue to foster a positive workplace culture where I talked about doing great work on behalf of the people, but secondarily that we enjoy being there. Because like I said, it's fundamental to who I am that the best work is done when you love your job. And like I've told people a bunch of different times, one of my favorite jobs in my life was when I was in high school and I worked for Burger King. As dumb as it sounds, 15 Coon Rapids Boulevard, now a pawn shop. But But I loved working there, and we took, as dumb as it sounds, we took great pride. We had the cleanest kitchen anywhere. When the restaurant closed and we were just drive-through, we turned the music up and we had a blast, and we prided ourselves on stuff looking perfect, on cleanliness, on great service, and we thought it was fun to do that, and it was part of the culture that I learned as a young person that is essential to who I am today. And then the other thing, and I've said this a bunch of times throughout the campaign, is my other job is to help everyone within the office have a successful career. And a successful career is when we all leave on our own terms, meaning when we choose to end our careers, whether it's retirement or we're on to greener pastures, but we choose to leave on our own terms. And that the second part of that is I want to make sure it's my responsibility to make sure you end it physically well and mentally well. So it's those three things: end in your own terms, physically and mentally well, and I will make that my priority. And I will close just by saying it's a little peculiar being in brown, because I spent 27 years in blue. 6 months ago, if I was cut, I bled CRPD blue. Beginning today, if I'm cut, I bleed ACSO brown, and I'm not moving forward. So with that, thank you everyone for coming.